Does anyone want to do a saver for 9? No. Okay.
Oh, for 9? I don't care.
We've already had one objection. It has to be unanimous. It's really good of you, though, sir.
Probably karma, though.
I like that that suggestion came from the cheerleader as well. Oh yeah, absolutely. It's been a hell of a day.
I always vote for it to go.
Yeah, I know, especially if it's 8 on the 9-handed table.
Right then, guys, just so you know, we're on the live stream, and I know a few of you might have been on this before. We stream it on YouTube, and it goes on to impact.com/live. There's a link on the Facebook group. I've count as many units as I can possibly find. The important thing to remember is it's recorded on YouTube forever. There's a microphone up there that picks up what you guys say there. You'll also pick me up on the handhelds and on commentating as well. Be careful what you say. I'm not going to stop you from saying anything, but be aware it's on YouTube forever. Okay? Other than that, just enjoy the game.
Please,
we talk about you on that. Of course you can.
Where do you find the Facebook page?
If you're on the 8 Pack Facebook page group, there's a link there. That's the page.
Yeah, 3-6 now.
Of course you are. And if you're not, we'll add you in straight away. Yeah. Cool. No, that's the easiest way to do it is to be on that.
When you are.
Well, if you say please, not just take.
Hello, guys.
Take.
Is it the exact same link as yesterday? Oh,
No worries.
there it is.
Do we have to show our cards to the camera? Look what I'm holding. Yeah. I'm sure people on YouTube are like,
All 3 of them.
yeah.
No, so it's 3 and 6.
3 and 6.
It is, sir. Yep.
Well, welcome back to Manchester, Grosvenor Casino here at Bowie Road, and it's taken a little while, but we now have the final table of event number 11, the Pot Limit Omaha High-Low Championship, for your delight, your viewing pleasure.
27 total.
Quick rundown of who we got.
Good.
Seat 1
Yeah.
is Dieter Kuhn. In seat 2 is Jonathan Seal. Seat 3, Chris Webber. Seat 4, Christian Winker. Seat 5 is Michael Matthews. Seat 6, Brian Jones. Seat 7, Steve Bailiff. Seat 8, David Pilkington. And in seat 9 is Ricky Hale. So, Pot Limit Omaha High-Low. For those of you watching the 8 game earlier, you should be familiar with this by now. Each hand is pot limit Omaha, but the pot is split between a high hand and a low hand. Low hand is 5 cards, 8 or less, with their ace counting as a 1, where straights and flushes and everything else is not included. And a high hand plays out as normal. Not always a low hand in this game, but there's always a high hand. We get plenty of chop pots and split pots.
To be fair, wasn't that 8 game though?
No, it's boundary.
Oh, right, fair enough.
Yeah, it's like we make fun of things.
Cool.
So let me give you a rundown of our chip counts on this final table. Seat 1 is Dieter, and he's got 31,000. Seat 2 is John, he's got 50,000. Seat 3, Chris Webber with 85,000. Seat 4, Christian with 73,000. In seat 5 is Michael with 70,000. Seat 6, Brian, our short stack at the table with 22,000. Seat 7, our chip, actually second chip leader is Steve Bailiff with 102,000. Seat 8, 45,000, David Pilkington. And in seat 9, our chip leader, Ricky Hale, with 110,000. Quick dealer change, and we're away to go again.
Okay.
Top 8 are getting paid here, which means unfortunately the first to exit on the final table is going home with not even their bus fare. Nobody wants to be the bubble boy here. Everybody wants a bit of TV time. You'll recognise a few of these faces from earlier on, either today or yesterday for sure. Christian ran deep and done the same thing again. Dave Pilkington made a final table last night. Just finished short of the money. And in seat 7 is a bracelet winner from this week already in Steve Bailiff. And he's not even wearing it. Can you believe it? He's not even wearing it. Steve won the Round of Each Championship last night in a heads-up against Ian Thompson, who was after his second bracelet of the week. So that was on the live stream last night. Hopefully plenty of you followed that. So on an ace for ace board, ace for ace board, and looks like we've got an all-in and a call, and it's Brian who was our short stack against Steve Bailiff, who was second in chips. Brian's got Queen Jack Ace 3, and Steve's got King King Queen 8. Turns an 8, but it's and a 4, and it's going to be a full double up for Brian.
So, seat 5.
Which gives him a little bit of breathing space now. So blinds currently 3,000, 6,000. No antes in Omaha. And they're playing on a half-hour clock, so there's another 23 minutes left of this level 15.
Call. Replace. Check. Check. Bet. 18. Show it for the camera. Nice hand.
So John picks up the pot there.
I want the red one. So far, I've already lost the pot. I've already doubled someone up. Driving that one, driving that one. I was in this thing. A few months not here on the what do you want me to do? Do you want me to call it? Right, that's what it is.
Raise.
He said raise on the call. So what?
14.
When it's a call, it's just... You don't stick it in the eye. He's dying. He's dying. You got me with your nail there. Oh. What's the cap?
Discharge him.
No, he said please. So. But when he said, I want you to drink, I go, take it. I wanted to show you before you make a decision.
Like that.
He said, no, it shows you if you're not learning the way it goes anymore. Now remember next time, whatever you say.
Bailiff picks that one up after raising from the small blind. David Pilkington had a bit of a dwell in the big blind and then decided to fold.
Especially blind on blind. When I haven't got the option to raise, it's how it's all on the phone. We need to tell them to go to
So it's D2 who's under the gun and he raises up and we fold all the way round. Just the blinds to get through. Dave Pilkington in the small blind. You won't be surprised to know he's having a think. And he folds. Just Ricky, who was our chip leader, joining this final table. And he makes the call of 13,000, so it's going to be two players steer flop here. And it's Jack Ace 3 with a couple of diamonds on board. Check from Ricky, and looks like Dieter's, yeah, he's pretty much all in
18.
for 18,000. Already 26,000 in the middle, well, plus actually a little bit more, 28,000. So, but nope. On the board of Jack Ace 3, good enough.
Yeah. And the poker player, you know that. Do you hear that? No. You don't hear that anymore.
No.
So Michael's flat called here out of seat 5, top of your screen, and Steve Bailiff raises it up to 30,500.
27 is it? Sorry.
27 is
It's pot. It's a pot bet. So Steve's just getting confused by.
yeah, but it's 25k. It's 27.
I don't say pot.
So yeah, he meant pot. He meant pot. So 27k is a pot raise. Dave Pilkington gets out the way, as does Ricky. So we're round to the big blind, which is Dieter.
Yeah, so it was 30k, 5,000. No, it's 5,000. So it was bigger.
So round we go to Dieter in the big blind, bottom left of your screen with his kind of back to you.
Don't care, man. I made mistake. I'm human.
I love my hand. I love your hand. I hate the situation. I love your hand. You love my hand. You've got like a lovely little mannequin. He doesn't know which color.
Old and Steve's squeeze play takes that one down. Can you squeeze play technically and put limit at home hard, Dave Howard?
Of course you can, Lee. It's the most fun you can have with your clothes on.
In a card room.
Well, it hasn't stopped some people.
Been a very I mean, I was over with 2 tables out watching this play from sort of 13, and it was quite painful to watch.
Well, it's full of nits. So I'm trying to have a look at the stacks. They're looking. I think once you see 2 or 3 go out, you'll see a bit more aggression. 9-handed. Everyone tries to pedal the nuts in PLO8.
And technically, we are on the money bubble.
Yeah, that is true. But this is the time. This is time to abuse it.
So minimum cash is 110. Then we go 130, 165, 215, 295. Then the top 3 get paid 425 for bronze medal position, 635 for silver medal position, and it's £975 up top, gold medal. And what else do they get, Dave?
Eternal glory.
And
I wasn't even listening. Sorry.
the bracelet, yeah.
Oh, the bracelet. Eternal glory. Then.
You might get that gig on the Generation game. You never know.
Check.
Definitely.
So we've got a board of 7 deuce 10 here, and it's Dieter and Ricky are the 2 in the hand, either side of the dealer. As you're looking at it, Ricky is bottom right, and Dieter is bottom left.
I think Ricky was going to a Mark Glassman lookalike convention, and somehow ended up here. And he is, and the angry Greg Wallace has just moved all in.
We if we gave Ricky a penguin to put as a card protector, that would be it done, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, indistinguishable.
So all in the call, and it's ace 8 4 deuce for Dieter, and it's 10 king queen 8 for Ricky. And looking at that, it's going to be Dieter who is going to get a double up through what was our chip leader, but certainly isn't going to be our chip leader anymore.
30.
So some of you might recognise Chris Webber in seat 3. I mean, at one point he really was the poster boy of APAC. Had a bit of a quiet time of it really the past 18 months or so. Not really had many wins, but was very much. I think at one point was up there as #1 ranked WCOAP player of all time. I mean, it's quite impressive, Dave Howard.
Yeah, he's Yeah, he's a pretty good player. I probably shouldn't say that, given I'm sharing a house with him, so I can berate him later on somehow, but now this is on tape.
Mate, that's so old school.
Yeah, well,
Where are they store? I mean, maybe YouTube just have literally loads of VHS tapes that they record those on.
I'd probably like have those like giant, you know, like in 70s, like thriller films of the massive tapes rolling around. But yeah, he's had a quiet 18 months. I think it's probably because he's trying to model himself on JP Round.
Yes, yeah. I mean, he has brought out the beard for this. First time I've seen it. Well, what's your take on it?
A little bit disturbed. It's kind of half puberty.
He did say it's finally he felt he'd reached that point, and so it was time.
Yeah, I'm just going to call him Diet JP now.
And Chris won the Irish Championship last year at the WCOAP. Picked up a bracelet for that.
Let's be honest, it was a sit-and-go league.
It was the one tournament from last year which was a little bit embarrassing, and to be fair, he's been pretty much berated for it ever since. That it really doesn't count, does it?
No, and he says himself it doesn't count. He's using it as an out just in case Simon Brook or Ian Witt ever win anything.
So Chris has bet out on the board of 6-8-3-7. We've got Steve Bailiff is the other player in this hand, and he's having a long think about it. If you can't spot Steve, he's top right of the screen with flowing locks. And pretty much, I'd go as far. It's a main. We can call it a main. It's at that point, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, definitely a main. It's just look for Brian May or David Ginola. And there he is. It's obviously a retired David Ginola.
It's a little bit John Bishop as well.
Yeah, of course.
Throw in the Liverpool accent, with that as well.
Does Scouse have teeth that white though?
Possibly not. No.
Not when you smoke ciggies, says Scouse. Are your mates watching again, Scouse? Are your mates watching again, Scouse?
So yeah, while Steve was winning his bracelet the other day, he had his mates, 8-month-old twins that were sat watching on YouTube. I can't believe parent would put their kids through that sort of thing at such a young age. It's only going to scar them for life.
Yeah, absolutely. It wasn't even the worst parenting on the final table.
Dealers in the main event after the hand moment, please stop dealer.
So round we go. It's Chris in the small blind this time and Christian in the big blind. And folding round we go to Ricky, who was our chip leader but no longer is, having got involved in a couple of hands. And he's just flat called. Blinds are 3,000, 6,000 at the moment. And interestingly, how the times have turned, it's now Dieter asking Ricky, how much have you got? And he folds. And Chris makes up the small blind, which means it's an option with Christian in the big blind. He says, let's see a flop. So we're going to be 3 players. And it's 7, ace, 10. So 2 low cards on the flop means we've still got the opportunity for a low hand. A couple of diamonds there as well.
Check.
It's gone check, check, and Ricky checks as well. And a 3 on the turn means we've definitely in for a low hand here between the 3 players. Check from Chris, and Christian bets 25k or pot. And it is pot, as he's just counted it out.
18,000.
18,000 is the count. So decision round on Ricky. Bottom right of the screen, baseball cap, leather jacket. Mark Lasman lookalike, basically.
Yeah, he's a stylish guy. Mark didn't pay me to say that either.
So he's folded, and Chris folds, and Christian wins the hand, shows deuce 4 for what would be the nut low. Correct me if I'm wrong in any of this, because I'm kind of going as I go.
Yeah, absolutely right. It was the nut low. Surprised he didn't have a bet on the flop, to be honest. But I suppose
drawing to it, yeah.
He was drawing to it, but PLO8's always about getting people to fold bits of equity. sort of like trying to win the full pot when really you're only entitled to half a showdown.
So really, there he's missed an opportunity on the flop, probably to just apply, especially with two other players still in the hand. Yeah.
Yeah, obviously he's worried about the limper. Obviously it's safe to lead out in the 7. You can put a bit of pressure on. No one's shown any interest in the pot, but I think Ricky could have had a bit of a stab at that. What is he limping with? If it's not an ace, he could put a bit of pressure on.
And of course, if the turn brings down a high card, that changes everything for him regarding the strategy, the way he's playing his low card draw. Yeah.
Yeah, at that point you just want to see the river as cheaply as possible, and you may even just want to fold a dodgy low draw on the turn.
So we fold around to the button, and it's Chris Webber on the button, top left of your screen, baseball cap flipped up high, and he's raised it up. Christian gets out the way, which means Michael Matthew top of your screen in the big blind, and he folds. Chris Webber adds to his stack, moves the dealer button for the dealer. I mean, he's a proper, he's the type of person you want to be at a poker table with, isn't he? Really.
Well, it depends whether you're the dealer or whether you're playing. If you're the dealer, he's very helpful, but if you're a player, he's a bastard to be with. As you can see, he doesn't need anything on the button. At this stage, you can't sit around waiting for ace deuce, ace 3, ace 4 in your hand. Even from the button, if you've got a hand like king, queen, 5 deuce, perfectly fine in position. Put a bit of pressure on.
Scouts, do you think he's sitting out? No, he's ran the bog, he's just knocked loads of drinks over to get back to his hands. He's just knocked loads of pennies over. So he doesn't miss his hand. As he said to me, go and chat to him for a bit in his chat. He's asking for a drink over there.
Raise 13.
Like a whale in there. What? Not flow, though, yeah. You selling drugs?
Check.
You must be selling drugs. Loads of drugs.
So we've got a board here of deuce 8-6, and Dieter has bet out after Brian has checked, and Brian now shoves, well, he's all in, just counting out whether that all in is actually a pot or not, and it is, but Dieter says he's going to call anyway. So Brian shows ace 3, queen 10 for the nut low with the nut flush draw as well. It's king, jack, queen and the next spade comes out. King will give us, and no, it's going to be the full double up for Brian. The ace 3 gives him the nut flush, and the ace 3 also gives him the nut low. Again, Dave, how am I doing?
Very good. It's like you've done this before.
Do you like that flop?
The trouble with these kind of variances, I say stuff, and then I quickly do a look around to somebody that I know might know what they're talking about, going, have I just talked absolute rubbish, or is that actually remotely what happened?
It's what happened. It's a good lesson to not play kings in PLO8, or queens, or jacks, or any high rundowns or mid rundowns. Just don't play them. Throw them away. They're rubbish.
The hardest thing with commentating on like a PLO8 game is you've got the high hand and the low hand, and the dealer tends to, when we're on a showdown, kind of gets on with it fairly quickly, and trying to pick up all the different options of what could happen. But it must be like that for a player as well, trying to work out where they're at.
You soon get used to it. Obviously, it's pretty easy to spot if you've got a low. If you've got 4 low cards, then just look for the lowest unique card that the players have, and that's the card that they're contributing towards the low, and usually the lowest one of those will win. If you've got a case where people don't have 2 unique low cards.
So the players in the main event, day 1B, are bagging up chips. I can see, who we got over there? I can see Helen Godfrey. I can see Simon Brook. I can see Will Young. I can see me, Tony Trippier. Gabrielle's through. Warren Jones is through. Shirley Cole is through. Doran's through. That is a decent list of players. They were down to 2 tables. That's a cracking list of players made it through to day 2 of the main event, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. And I have to say, Will Young, I loved his song Evergreen. It was...
it's great you can find the time to come and play a bit of poker, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a decent debut single, to be honest.
Did you not actually prefer the other version of Evergreen from Gareth Gates? Because they both sung it, didn't they, before?
I didn't actually watch that, no. I no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, okay, right.
21.
That was back in the day where they both sang the winner's song, and then only the winner got to release it, which means the other person effectively had a song produced and done, which actually never then got to ever be heard again.
Was it Pop Stars? Was it?
Stars the Rivals? Pop Idol.
Yeah, Pop Idol was one before X Factor, wasn't it? Yeah, that one.
How randomly did we get onto something completely?
It's more interesting than the PLO8 final table. Come on, guys, raise some hands.
There you go. Exactly. That's the reason why I said it.
Come on, show your aces. Come on, lad. How old are Kings?
So, Kev.
Oh, has it got it in with that?
Kev's raised it up under the gun, and they talked him into showing his aces, but he shows kings instead.
Oh, well, to be fair, he was in a bit of a desperate position. I don't know whether he was big blind there. If it was just heads up there, I'll fine, have a gamble.
Really just say to be fair when talking about an Irishman?
No, I'll take it all back. What an utter
It's
bell
4-8
end.
now.
So, quick change of dealer, and we're away to go again. Still 9-handed. Top 8 are getting paid here.
Oh, that's why no one's going.
Oh, the up.
Yeah, man, 4-8.
Keep them.
No, now they're gone up now. Yeah, I know.
So she'll blind also.
You need another one in there.
Going back to.
So wanted to get dealt.
Excuse me, service. Service. Excuse me. This gentleman, please. Hey, excellent. Oh no, yeah, she's not serving us right now.
You don't have many people actually serve. People like that are not serving.
Oh. Remember when it was 3,000 to 6,000? That was a nice time, wasn't it? It's 4-8 now.
Yeah, 28.
Need people out. Big blind, average about 10 minutes.
28 total, sir.
Right, his mate stood behind you, I'll text him.
Lines, please.
Someone was stood behind you going.
Are you just trying to make people think it's 10k and that's why it's raising? Just to be clear, everyone, it's 8k.
Oh.
I don't want to start in such 10 though.
Just to be clear, everyone, it is 4K, 8K. What's the blinds again? 4 and 8. More than 8, not 5 and 10. Not 5 and 10, or 4 and 10. And what's the ante? The ante is absolutely fucking. We care about PK. Fuck that, I'm gonna try it. No, that's my big plan next time. Yeah. You should put it. Yeah, no, there's nobody. Yes, correct. Yes, correct. And do you know what? Do you know why you do that? It's just easier because you're an adult.
It's a really good answer. Just 8, not 10. You don't need all of them, just 8.
19.
As Paul Hardcastle would say, in Vietnam it's 19. Is that all in there? Can you do that? Is that all in? No? No? Oh. But you don't get my green rush. That's all it did it for, to get you green. No. You put all the risk for green rush.
Lightless.
I didn't have any green ones, that's why I was doing it. Oh. You won? Oh, before you'd won something.
Oh, I did.
Try to work out why there's a medal in my name.
Oh, yeah. Just lost 50 quid on the double draw. That's like a win, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you want to play with me?
Oh, what's the shirt? It was one of the team events.
Could be Brooks's, to be fair.
Diamonds and Rust.
Which team event was it?
No, it wasn't me. I was pushing his back so he couldn't get in. I saw. He was taking a while.
Simon, PLO in. PLO. PLO down. Go on. You know you want. You know you want. You can't put 2 games in.
And then I figured out. Just all of it. Just all of it. So I say quad, and
Don't sit there. What 20?
20.
This is 21. This is the quarter. Oh, it's 20 down. Just
That is bad.
10 o'clock.
Why
Why are you in?
What's the
Can of Iron Brew.
What's the buy?
When you're the plan, go 67 to start with. 67 for 50, and then you can buy more 50s or 100s. I'll bring you a can of Iron Brew tomorrow. I'll bring you a can of Iron Brew tomorrow.
I might jump in.
Oh, it's okay. You want it yet? You don't want it yet?
How are we doing, David?
Raise from Dieter on the button, and it's been called by Chris on the big blind, and Chris has got ace queen 7 deuce, and Dieter's got queen ace 5 queen, and it's Dieter at risk, so he's the left hand that you can just sort of make out, and it's 8-6-8 which is going to be looking good for the ace deuce for the low for Chris. Queens are still ahead for the high at the moment, and it looks like that's the way that's going to stay. Four, so they're gonna split it up. Chris wins the low, and Dieter wins the high, and it gets chopped up, which happens a lot in this game.
I wanted you to follow. I wanted to be able to follow.
Small blind, buddy.
And I wanted him to fall because I wanted to be able to cover it. Well, no, it's still that one. I need a black.
28.
Liz, you've got the low. I knew it was coming back. The eye got to do too old to put all the chips in.
Here from Brian, and it's been called by the big blind of Michael, top of his screen. So Brian top screen in the dark top. Brian, who's just shoved a stack of chips in the grey hoodie, top right. The board is Jack 10, and it's decision back round on Michael. It's pretty much for his tournament life if he makes the call, looking at his stack size there. And he's going to fold, and he does.
Don't pay your money off. That's how I'm going to say it. Because he's got them things on the floor. No, he
Here we go, Christian in the small blind, Michael in the big blind, Brian to act first, and he's going to fold. Round we go to Steve Bailiff, and top right of his screen, and he's made a and he's made a call eventually. Round we go to Dave Pilkington, back at the table, right hand side of his screen. David Pilkington. He flicks the cards at the dealer, as does Ricky, as does Dieter, as does John Seal, as does Chris Webber. So we're round to Christian. Hadn't had enough TV time today, came back for some more. And it's going to be blind on big blind versus Steve Bailiff. And it's 4 ace 9 with a couple of hearts on the board. And Michael's checked, and so Steve makes a pot bet. Decision back on Michael again. It's for Michael's tournament life. He makes the call here. Not done anything wrong there though, because he only had a big blind in, which was obviously a false bet anyway. He's going to fold, but Michael is very much our short stack at this table now. Steve shows King Queen 10 9.
9.
Thank you, dealer.
Blinds. Yeah, that's just.
That's Michael in the small blind this time, and he really is down to fumes. Brian in the big blind. It's going to be Steve Bailiff to act first. Steve folds, exposing the 7 of diamonds to the table. Deserves a slap. Disappointing, Steve, disappointing. And Dave Pilkington folds, and Ricky is making a pot-size bet. Dealer's just going to count that out. And 20,000. Decision on Dieter. And Dieter says, I'm all in. John Seal gets out of the way. And Chris Webber gets out of the way, as does Christian. Michael in the small blind is going to fold, looking to ladder into the money here. Possibly the right decision, because he really is that short stacked. And decision is now with Brian in the big blind. He's just asking for a count. 48,000 is the count from Dieter. Ricky's got about enough behind to probably match Dieter's stack, actually. He's already committed 20,000. Brian's going to fold, so is Ricky going to make the call? Already got 20,000 in the middle. 48,000 is the total bet. He says he's going to make the call, and he was. Yeah, he doesn't leave much behind. So Dieter shows ace 3-5, and it's ace jack 3-5 for Dieter, for Ricky. Dieter has him absolutely crushed, but that doesn't mean that's how it plays out. 7-9-3 means they're both drawing to the nut low, which is not there. They've now both got 2 pair, and they've got a split pot because they both got. They split the whole lot. Both had 5-3, which means they both got 2 pair, and then the ace 3 counts with the 5-7-8 for the low. Got Philip Hines next to me. Phil, how the hell did that split?
I have no idea. Well, they had quite a few similar cards, so the short stick must be disgusted.
Yeah, the board has pretty much got to come down something like 2 pair for that to actually work that way, when he had him so dominated with a pair of ace and then pretty much an identical hand after that.
Yeah, definitely. They could still both made the same. They had the same low draw, so they probably would have made the same low.
More likely would have been quartered than necessarily completely split.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow.
Actually, who was it? Ricky also had a spade draw on the flop. Might have actually been a slight favourite there.
This is why I have experts next to me, because they pick up things with draws and opportunities, because it happens so quick. It's very difficult to keep track of all the different options unless you play the game on a regular basis. But unfortunately, Michael's the one that's probably the loser there, because I think he folded out the small blind thinking there's going to be a bust here and I'm going to scrape into the money, but it hasn't happened, and he's now on the button, and he's playing pretty much, I'd suggest, one big, and he's now got it in on the button after there's been a call from Dieter.
Six on the side, guys.
And it's he's all in for 6, I think it is. So Steve's in the hand, Brian's in the hand, Dieter's in the hand. So we've got 3 other players that are going to see a flop. All Michael can do is wait, and the board is 10-3 queen. That was a from Phil. You're saying this is going to get checked all the way down, you thinking?
Yeah, I think so, unless someone makes like the absolute nuts that should be checked down, especially on the money bubble. Everyone just wants to bust out another player, so they just want to check it down and keep it friendly.
So 7 on the turn, 9 on the river. It's gone check, 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 check. So it's going to be show and take, I think.
You have checked. All right, what we got, guys? Set of 9s.
Set of 9s for Brian. And Michael got it in with King, King, Ace 10. And was actually ahead, I think, with his 10 all the way to the river, actually.
No, I thought the folded head.
I knew you made
From Steve at 2 pair.
Did he hit 2 pair, did he?
Blinds, please.
So we lose Michael in 9th place, unfortunately, which means the remaining 8 players are now all in the money. Very well done to all of them. I can grab that, thank you.
I don't know, we just lost a clock. Big blind, please, sir.
It's worked already.
So, 8-handed. Everyone's now guaranteed a little bit of cash. £110 minimum. £975 up top.
28.
So I've got Philip here with me now on comms for a little while.
Sounds like Christian won a pot.
Looked like I saw an ace and a deuce there. I didn't see what the other card was, but certainly that's quite a strong starting hand in this game.
Yeah, definitely. I think it should be fireworks from here. Everyone is in the money, and the next two few money steps are not that big. So
yeah, I'd like to think so, wouldn't you? I think genuinely there was a money bubble there. I think it really was. It did play out. I wasn't sure whether it would, but I think it did.
Do we not have the break at the end of 16, or we just play through it?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Does anybody disagree with that? Yeah, no.
They don't need to. They don't know about it. They don't need to.
Yeah, no, I would get it stopped anyway because you had a break when you started this. So.
Keep it casual.
28.
Right.
So there's a raise from John. Makes it 28,000.
We just said twice.
So that's a compliment.
Everyone folds until
Well, it's not more
Steve
guys.
is considering to do
I know they're all
something.
going in. That's why I'm asking what's behind. I know. No.
But he folds eventually. Into the blinds, David and Ricky. David folds. And so does Ricky.
I was close though. You had the aces? Aces got 6-8. Oh, but you had the aces at the jam. I had 6.
I for sure. Not with that.
You got called. She's not let him near a microphone.
I know.
No.
Quite a few of the Team Gotham guys railing Chris Webber here. Obviously, you're railing Christian. Yeah.
I am.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Which is becoming a regular thing, Phil. I don't know.
I
I'm
think that's
slightly
good.
worried. Yeah,
It's kind of my job now. I'll just railing Christian. That's all I do.
So the board is 5A6-6 here, and Dieter's bet out, and it's a pretty quick fold from Ricky, wasn't it? Yeah. Dieter showed. I think he showed the 6 there. Yeah. It's flicked into the muck.
Sorry? Do you remember when it used to be deep? What's that nice?
Blinds, please, guys.
Yeah, Josh. Bloody lovely. I actually, earlier on this tournament, I had time to just stop some food for 4 minutes. I'm going to wait for the break.
You're more than welcome to commentate. You will be shouting.
Data and John in the blinds now. Action folded around.
Brian's betting out there, yeah.
Yeah, Brian raises up to 19,000. And Steve makes the call.
Well, you're right in what you said, because clearly, yeah, things have loosened up a little bit quite quickly here. Now we're in the money, and players are getting involved in pots pre.
Definitely, and I expect to lose quite a few more players soon. So it's heads up to the flop. Brian and Steve.
Check.
And Steve bets 25,000. And Brian folds.
I'm trying to work out who the chip leader probably is here, Phil. It's quite close.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't see a clear chip leader.
No, I think John in seat 2 has probably got a similar stack to Chris in seat 3. Just they're stacking them slightly differently, but I think they look fairly similar.
I don't think that John has a 25k chip though. Chris has one.
I think Steve has probably got a similar stack
one in
as
seat
well.
6. Brian has 3 25k chips. So
yeah, so he has. So that makes a massive difference. Yeah.
Also,
and Christian has one as well, doesn't he? So
he does. But it's pretty even. There's no clear chip leader. They have few short sticks though.
David is very much our short stack in seat 8.
David is very short.
Yeah.
He's
probably got.
yeah,
he's got
less than 10k.
And then probably followed by actually either Ricky or Dieter. They're quite close actually.
Yeah, I think so.
Every time I've said that twice, it's happened twice. I don't know.
So blinds are 4,000, 8,000. And it's Chris Webber in the small blind and Christian in the big blind, which means it'll be Brian to act first. So Brian folds and Steve folds, and no, David's not fancying this to be the spot. The reality is that whenever David does make a move, it's getting called by at least the big blind, and more likely the small blind as well, because of the value that's there, because of how much he's got left in stack.
Well, he might not even have enough to raise actually. He might get underneath one big blind. I think he might have less than a big blind though.
But Ricky's made a pot bet. And it looks like it's going to get through. And it does. Well, whatever happens.
I actually think that David can just fall from now on. Less than a big blind.
Yeah, really. So he's going to have, let's have a look. It's Christian in the small blind, Brian in the big blind. So he's got this hand, then he's got Steve in the big blind the next hand, and the hand after that will be David in the big blind. So basically 3 hands here.
Yeah.
Slightly makes a difference, obviously playing Omaha in that there's no antes, so he's not losing anything other than when he actually is in the blinds. So. But basically, David has got 3 hands to make a move.
No. Thank you very much. I never knew that such a question would get such an aggressive response.
No. To actually move his chips.
Yeah, you can do that.
How many blues have you got, mate?
Well, that was the first one of them, and he's folded that one, so we've gone all the way around to Dieter in seat 1. He folds. John Seal folds. Chris Webber on the button. Opportunity for him. Not often it's folded all the way around to him, but no, he gives a grin and gets it away. Christian like to make a move on blind out of the small blind.
He shows deuce, 7-7 jack and folds.
No, doesn't like that.
Big blind shows a similar hand too. So.
Yeah, deuce 3 with a 10-9, yeah. So.
One less hand at 4 and 8, guys.
Hello again.
So, next hand, Brian in the small blind, Steve in the big blind, and it's going to be David under the gun. So if it's not this time.
Steve's not here yet, so he might get back for his.
The trouble is even if Steve's not here and David makes a move here, it's actually just adding value to the pot for somebody to then just squeeze over the top, knowing that they're really only up against the one hand. This could be an interesting hand, depending on what David decides to do. No, he's going to leave it to the.
I think he made the right choice.
Leave it to the lap of the gods in his big blind.
He has a bit more chips here, but it's folded less when he.
Well, it's folded all around. Yeah. So
if he
he's folded all the way around, and it's gone to Christian on the button. That's going to take the opportunity. Going to take the opportunity.
He raised, didn't he?
And is Brian going to try and play back, knowing that he probably knows what Christian's doing, but no, he folds. So here we go. This is the hand for David Pilkington. Then he's going to be all in on the big blind. Oh, actually, he's got 1,000 back. Does he? But pretty much.
So he has 9k in total.
But pretty much we know what's coming.
It's 5-10.
There's no way in this world.
He's
5-10.
There's no way in this world. No way in the world. No way. I genuinely will drop the mic and leave the card room if he folds here, and just give up for the week. So it'll be Ricky to act first.
Can I give him an extra card to give him a chance?
It'd be interesting how many players decide to
watch me afterwards.
Stick around. There's the first call from David.
So, Dieter. Yeah.
If I've got quads now, I'm going to be.
I mean, technically, Dieter's actually just called the 8K, isn't he? Actually, at the moment, yeah.
So
even though,
still might get away from
even though David's put his 9K in already and committed it, actually.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, did he?
So it's David all in. He's got Dieter and Steve still in the hand, but
how did they get a raise?
Check, guys. Check.
I have
no idea what's going on.
of course, well, why would you?
I only check the flop on the 10.
I check and I donate to Schweck.
So,
I only flop
everyone shows?
The blinds at 5,000.
Yeah, right. So he was all in. Yeah, it had just gone up. Yeah.
And there's a straight for Steve.
Straight for Steve. There's no low.
And that's good.
I blocked this out.
So we're going to lose David. We're going to lose David in 8th place. Very well played to him. Another final table.
I didn't think I checked all the way down. I thought I got up at the nuts. He was like, there with another card and it pairs. I'm like, oh, nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Well played, man. You got it anyway. You got what you got.
Exactly.
You did something out at the start. And 2 final tables. Just on the Facebook.
Only leave these hands.
So we have 7 players left. The next person to exit will get £130.
I mean, this guy made 2 final tables in one day.
And it's just a single big blind this time. Ricky is in the big blind.
To be
And we have a raise from John
Chris.
to 30,000.
How much guess you put
30.
Chris on the final table yesterday?
30, hold on. Yeah, 30.
And a call from Brian.
38.5.
Looks like Ricky's also considering a call.
I mean, Ricky started the hand with about 50,000, so it's only 5 bigs.
Yes, and he makes the call. So he just left himself with 22.5k. So wouldn't be surprised if that goes into the middle.
Yeah, it feels committed to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Although to be honest,
if he totally missed the flop,
John's not got much more himself.
That's true. That's true. He has like 30, maybe 40,000.
Yeah.
Check.
So John's made the move.
John goes all in.
Left-hand side of your screen. And decisions back round on Ricky. Is he going to put his remaining? Oh, after Brian's folded.
Yeah, Brian folded.
And
Ricky folds.
And Ricky folds. So nice. That's a very nice pop for John.
Yeah, it looks like he also. I think he doubled up.
Pretty much, I think. Yeah.
I see
So Ricky is a short stack now.
Yeah, down to pretty much two big blinds.
Yeah. Tita in the big blind has 4 big blinds, so
I think we're going to lose a couple of players quite quickly here.
Definitely.
And then that will then free it up for a bit more play.
Raised 26.
So Chris Weber raises it up to 26,000, and it's all the way around to the big blind. And he folds. So Chris Weber takes a pot. He hasn't really played a hand for a while, but
still has
a pretty good stack.
He has his stack in a way which you can probably you can see on the screen right in front of him, where his 1,000 chips are just stacked high, which makes it very difficult for us to work out roughly what we think he's got.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have the biggest stack, but at least he has the tallest.
Yeah, he does, very much so. Very much has the tallest stack.
Everyone was doing it to me yesterday, so I'm just getting me on.
A lot of the other players tend to do 20s or 10s, which helps us out when we're trying to work out where they are. It's going to be Chris to act first here. He folds, Christian folds as well, as does Barry. Round we go to Steve. He folds, so Ricky's on the button. Nope, doesn't fancy it with his 22k. So it's just going to be Dieter and John then, blind on blind. They give John a walk. I mean, that to me, I wonder how that can't be a regular thing in Pot Limit Omaha that you get a walk. It just doesn't feel. You get 4 cards. Surely somebody must have something which looks pretty that they would play.
Well, maybe not at this stage anymore.
Yeah.
You can't mess around like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Most of the players have like 10 big blinds or less, so they really have to consider their moves.
So Christian is under the gun here, will be first to act. And he's top of your screen. And he folds, as does Barry. Round we go to the flowing locks of Steve Bailiff. He folds. Is this going to be the time that Ricky makes his move. No, he folds as well, but Dieter's going to make his move. From the button.
So Dieter's all in. I don't think that Chris Webber will fold this.
It's
15.
And additional 4 by 2.
It's 25, I think, roughly.
Yes, and
he's made the
Have you
call.
got a real bag of Spanish there?
Right then. So Chris is showing 10, 10, 9, 7. Dieter's got ace, deuce, 3, 9. That's what's at risk. Jack, Jack 6 means there's not going to be a low, so Dieter's going to need an ace here.
Oh, it still might be a low.
Oh, there could still be a low, yeah.
And
Oh,
there's
there
a
you go. I spoke too soon.
And it gives you the strength.
Run for the low.
It's a split pot.
So, yeah, Chris takes the high and Dieter takes the low.
Chris made a straight for the high. 9-7.
Yes. Yeah, it was good card to give you strength.
If it had been any high card on the river, would have actually seen Dieter lose the lot there.
Yeah, that's true.
On the flop with 2 high cards, it looked like.
Well, he might still hit an ace.
But yeah, he would have had to have hit an ace. He would have had to, yeah. An ace would have scooped it for him, wouldn't it?
Chris and Christian in the big line, in the blinds.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to be sorry for the slow down. For the 1.5
All in.
And Ricky moves all in. Looks like he has 17 and a half.
He's got to make the call here, isn't he?
Christian has to make the call, and he does.
So Christian's got King, 10-9, and it's deuce 3-3-4 for Ricky. So it's the deuce 3-3-4 at risk. And Philip will talk you through the options here.
And the flop doesn't give much for anyone. Well, a 10 for Christian and a deuce for Ricky. Another low cut, so now Ricky has a low.
Ricky's made a low, so they're going to split it up.
It's cool for the viewers, everything. What? Viewer? The name of the game. Viewer. It's Dave and then. What happened there? No, he's not this, isn't he? I'm pleased for it. I'm not going to take the piss out of it like you did. I actually did. No, I was so said from the heart. Even that's not. I mean, when you say it,
Christian and Brian in the blinds.
It's only knows it's only bad.
Steve is first to act. He folds. Hold it all the way around to Chris Webber on the button. And he raises it up to 25k. It's 2 folds from the blinds and he will take it down.
I'll always take a walk. Okay. Ace, ace, deuce, three. Normal tournament. Yeah, still take that. See that call? Harry, you must be fairly Come on, let's have a look.
Fold it around to the blinds, small blind calls, big blind checks. 2 players to the flop. Check, check.
Check, check.
2 more checks. And the river.
Check. 20.
Steve bets 20,000 and gets a fold.
I mean, I always carry a man bag with me, so it's
So Dieter moves all in under the gun. Hold it around to the big blind. Ricky, who goes all in as well. I think he will be at risk. Dieter shows king 10 10 9. And Ricky shows 8 7 6 deuce. Flops queen ace queen.
There's one and a half.
And another ace.
Oh, baby.
And we will lose Ricky.
Hold on, mate.
Just so you check.
Kleine Karte war.
Only big
Wieder ärgern, ne? Flop war schon. Ja, Flop war perfekt. Schade.
Big.
What's this? Are you going to come to a longer time?
Yeah, only big.
Yeah, I know you're saying,
Raise 30. Yeah.
Chris Weber raised it up to 30,000, and that's enough to take it down.
I mean, like, the spec looks impressive, but it's really fucking low. I mean, I hope it. Oh, no. It's just now you're being a dick.
There's 6 players left in the tournament, and the next one to exit will get 165 pounds. John's in the big blind. Folded around to Steve. And he's raising it up to 24,500. And Dieter moves all in from the small blind. John folds.
Oops. 26 and 5. 41, everyone short. I can't fold. Oops. I can't fold.
Steve doesn't look too happy, but makes the call. Steve shows deuce, 5, 3, deuce. And Dieter shows ace, deuce, 5, queen. And is ahead.
Hey, I'm going to scoop. Yeah, you are as well. The window card.
No one hits this flop.
There it is.
There's the jack for Steve. And the queen saves Dieter. And he will double up.
Nice. It's not possible to get your We're not ending here, guys.
Because one guy 3 out and another guy 3 out. That's what happened.
25, 40.
But it was all
42 5. 42 5.
to be fair, he didn't.
Right, yeah, I'll tell you what, make it easier. This 20.
Yeah, boards or piece of future and 14. I had to kind of ask you down.
I mean, that's a shit flop for you.
6 out.
And then just 20.
40 is 42.5.
42.5.
Yes, so 40.
And there's the 2.5.
2.5, perfect.
Funeral, like that, leave it. That's just wrong on so many. I was coming. I was coming. That was coming off. Rather than just run out blank. From the bottom stack to like nearly chip leader and bottom stack to nearly chip leader.
Best roller coaster ever. Like, really?
At least when I play, it's not shot box anyway. No, that's true. You just win or you lose.
Yeah, 1 yellow.
I have a perfect free jam on you, so that's good.
Needs a little bit breathing space now because he was fairly short stack, but not masses though.
No, it should be up to like 9-10 big lines.
I think it's going to make Christian possibly the short stack now at the table at the moment. Again, but not by very much, but I think so.
I think actually Brian might have a bit less.
You think, yeah?
It's close, very
well,
close.
Brian's got Brian's got 225Ks, isn't he? To the one,
but he doesn't
have many. Yeah, he doesn't have any 5Ks. Or actually, I think you're right, Phil. But I think they're pretty similar. They're the two top of your screen. The two in seats 5 and 6. Sorry, 4 and 6 on your screen.
Christian on the blinds now.
35.
And we have a raise from our shot stack Brian, and
Brian's
he will
raised
win
up,
the pot.
Yeah. And he's taking chips off. There is the other short stack. So. So Christian's playing 20. I mean, he's only playing probably 4 or 5 big blinds. Yeah, it's a raise from Steve. Makes it 30,000.
No, it's 25. 500.
Sorry, 25,500. Actually, yeah, my mistake. That was a 5K chip. 25.5. Yeah. Christian in the small blind, and he folds. Fairly quick call there from Brian in the big blind.
Yeah, could be interesting. Not too deep.
7 Jack Ace with a couple of diamonds.
Brian first to act, and he moves all in. And Steve folds.
So that's 2 nice tidy little pots for Brian, back to back.
They will put him above 100,000, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say about 105,000, maybe something like that. Maybe a little bit more, maybe 110. Still only 11 bigs. But Christian certainly has less than that. And Dieter has less than that, doesn't he?
Less than 100, yeah.
56. Yeah, Dieter's maybe got about 100, yeah.
And Steve gets a walk.
This doesn't really look like a woman on the screen, does it? No, probably not. I don't know, I might see someone.
In the small blind, Dieter in the big blind, which was to be John Seal to act first. Seat 2, left-hand side of your screen. And he's going to fold. Round we go to Chris Webber. As you said, it doesn't feel like he's been that active at this final table, but has steadily been picking up chips.
Yeah, if he plays a hand, he wins it. That's pretty good strategy in poker.
Yeah. So Christian is all in. Whether it's
no, he can't move all in. Actually, he has to, but he raises the pot to 35,000.
So round we go to Dieter. What's he going to do?
35.
Yeah, 35.
15. 8.
And it's pretty much 20k behind, isn't it? So bets 35 with another 20k behind. Dieter says I'm all in. I think Christian's going to snap him off. He does. So Christian has King 9, Jack 8, and Dieter has King Ace 10 6. Here we go. And it's Deuce Queen Ace.
And there's an ace.
Which is puts Dieter ahead.
Not
6
much
is no
there.
good.
Christian just needs a 10, and the king won't do it.
And
so
we're going to lose. We're going to lose Christian in 6th place.
Well played, Vic.
Look for freedom.
It's not, is it? This is what happens with PLO8. Wow, I mean, PLO.
No, I know what you're saying. This is
one card away from busting to tip leader.
Yeah, I mean that's not normally what happens in PLO. This is unique.
That's the way it goes.
This is like a hyper. This is a lot like hyper. This is.
Yeah, one mistake. See ya.
Doesn't have to be a mistake.
No. It's just we've got to get these pretty much rubbish hands in. Love all. So just all in, everyone.
So on we go, 5-handed.
Solid. With 1.5.
So 5 left, and yeah, it's very much Dieter winning that hand, as put him back in the game stack-wise. And it's Steve that's raising pot here from the button.
I don't think there's going to be much flop play for the rest of this tournament.
What do you have behind, sir? Let's see, a little bit.
20, 30.
So there's a raise from Steve from the dealer button.
And he's got about 40,000 behind, Phil.
Raise 19, 109.
Dieter's raising out. Dieter's raising out.
Seems like Dieter's on a roll now. And Steve goes
so it's
all
going to be all in, Nicole.
And I think Steve is the one at risk.
So Steve has got Ace 8 Jack 6 a king, and it's Ace 3 10 king for Dieter. So it's the Ace 8 Jack king at risk, and it's 4 4 5 with a 6 means that Dieter's got the low.
Dieter's the low, yeah. And the queen doesn't have anyone.
Doesn't help anybody, which means it's going to be.
I think they split it with Ace King.
It's going to be Ace King, Ace King, Ace King. So Steve is going to get quartered, yeah, because both will have Ace, basically Ace high. with the pocket fours that are on the board. Ace king kickers.
Oh, sorry. I was just taking this. It's not. You get a quarter. You're only getting half of them.
Yeah, you're getting quarters. You're both winning the high, and Dieter's winning the low. Yeah. Yeah, you're basically gonna lose half your stack. Yeah.
Nice. I really would like that. You know the chance from that.
No. Did you better split? It was on the middle. It was on the middle. I split before.
Okay.
Quarter. I give to him, and now I split it there. Quarter.
So Steve got quartered there. He lost the low and chopped the high.
So he basically lost half his stack.
Yeah. Which is better than all of his stack.
It is.
Good luck, players. Congratulations.
But he's pretty much got about 45k left behind now.
Well, 6 and 12 now, guys.
Thanks very much.
So up, 6,000, 12,000. Say we're five-handed now. Minimum cash is £215. Then it goes 295, 425, 635, and £975 up top.
Another 2,000 on your big blind, buddy. They've gone up 6 and 12 now. So you still 12 to go? Yep.
I was only taking it.
I know. That's why I just went straight to this guy says on you 12.
Sorry, was that pot?
John made the raise from the button, and everyone else got out of the way. And he'll stack those up. So Chris Webber's playing 125,000. And we've got 590,000 chips in play. So Chris has about the average stack roughly.
Looks like the average is 118,000.
Yeah, 118,000. So Chris has roughly average stack. And
6 and 12, John.
Dieter's now got about 170,000. With a 25 on top. Yeah, so 100. I didn't see the 25, so I said 170. So it's 195.
198. Okay.
It's 198.
Yeah, sorry.
Dieter, any raise on 198, Dieter, from seat one? Seat one, no, 198, final offer. Yeah. So Dieter's playing 198. We said we think Steve's playing about 45-ish. Brian has 75, 80. No, Brian's playing just shy of 100. And Dieter's raised it up, and John Seal has repotted it.
I'm quite well on that. Fair enough. 70, 100, and
so Dieter has
I'm still yeah. No, he was just changing his chip. That's all. Good.
So Dieter's potted it. John Seal has repotted it effectively all in, and we're round to Steve. Steve in the big blind. decision on him first.
And he's
before-
pretty short. I think
yeah.
that's why he's considering.
It's pretty much
call
his.
here.
Steve's got a decision for his tournament life, and he's folding, which means his decision is back now on Dieter. Does he make the call?
Anything.
110,
Anything.
It's one yes.
No one's called it that.
110.5. $110.5.
So John's all in for 110,500. Decisions on Dieter.
And Dieter folds. So John will take the pot.
less like it's always
Yeah.
when you're bitching with your chips and you get
So Dieter, how many chips have you? So John adds to his stack.
I think Dieter is less than
So John was all in for 110 there, and he's picked up what was the pot raise from Dieter plus the blinds. So probably gained about 50k there, I'd say maybe, roughly.
I think exactly 50k.
Yeah, 50. Yeah. So puts John now up at about 160,000.
Very good calculating.
He always has an ace at least.
Yeah, sure.
So
But he folded an ace. So.
yeah.
John up now about 160,000. Actually, it's going to move Dieter back down to about 150,000.
Actually, the blinds are up now to 6 and 12.
Yep.
Problem is how to play it.
This doesn't look like a window to your mates, but I feel that there's some raise going on. Is it
And Chris Webber is doing some hand dancing.
It's right, okay.
Don't know, he's trying to get the table to move quicker.
I think he just gets bored.
Yeah.
Lee, can I get a massage?
All in.
And Steve goes all in after a raise from John.
Massage?
On the backs, guys. Let's have a look.
It's John's got ace, deuce, king, queen, which is a great starting hand. And Steve has 5, 9, deuce, jack, which is not maybe as good.
Yeah, that's well.
Ace 7 3 is actually.
But he's flopped the
flopped the low.
The low.
And
2 pair is
still has
currently
a
good,
low.
and 2 pair is going to do the high, so they're going to chop it.
They're gonna chop it, yeah.
Ace deuce for the 2.
Actually, they both made 2 pair, but
yeah, jack deuce
John
for
the higher 2 pair.
For Steve. Steve's got to be happier with that than getting quartered again.
Wow.
I can only say that because
I don't know. He still looks sad to me.
I can only say that because the man's already won a bracelet this week so far. So and you can't take that away. You cannot take that away from him. But he wants more. He very much wants more.
Would that be Chris Webber's 5th bracelet? I think.
Chris doesn't keep count, but how many bracelets do you have, Mr. Webber? Is the question.
It's on you, Mr. Webber.
We know we have 4 because you said it the other day. I thought I had 5, but it turns out I have 4. I would like to raise. How much should I raise? Okay.
You two have decided what.
Alright, it makes no difference.
30,000.
I think your shit.
117.
So Chris raised it up here. And now Dieter looks like he makes a move and shoves.
Chris
and
is shoving it.
Chris shoves all in.
Alright, flip him, guys.
And Chris Webber has a monster. He has ace, ace, deuce, 3. And Dieter has ace, king, queen, deuce. So Chris is a big favorite here. Flop is 10, 8, 5. 2 clubs, which gives Mr. Webber the draw. And it runs out perfectly for Chris Webber. And he doubles up.
Should have been
They're not far off stack sizes either, I don't think, to be honest. I don't think there's a massive difference.
Look at these hands. I have basically it's a boss flop here there. That's insane. Yeah, I've got the clubs as well. And then, just to really rub it in, pinks are 2 on the other.
143 is the count for Chris. I don't think Dieter's going to have very much behind after that. There's 100, 143. He's going to have about...
It's a ridiculous one.
Yeah, I didn't think it was very much in it. He's got about 5k back there, Phil, maybe?
43. That's 1 5, 10, 20, 30.
Yeah, so he's got about maybe 8k behind.
Yeah, he's very much crippled now.
That's what I did.
So Steve is not the short stack anymore. He might get another 80 quid.
You have a massive hand.
Yeah, that one can close itself.
That won't last long.
Not
Not with that man's lifestyle. It won't last
If
long.
you fold that hand, you're playing it wrong. Right?
Blinds, please, guys.
Two really good hands there, though, for Phil.
6 and
Starting
12,
hands in this game, yeah.
Yeah, but Chris Webber starting it was way better. The other one was a good hand, but he still had just too low cards.
It was back to the discussion we were having yesterday, was what's the best starting hand, and is ace deuce sweet bottom hand
It's a 50-50,
three.
Right,
And
you could see it in the end.
that hand it played out that it was very much
There
the
was
case, yeah.
2 on the river, otherwise they would have split the low pot. But with the 2 on the river, actually Chris Webber had a3 for the nut low.
So Dieter's all in from the button, and I'm imagining one, if not both of the blinds are calling here.
It's 9. So the man is still talking.
It's actually less than the big blind, so the big blind definitely is, and I think I'm imagining they're going to check this down.
Exactly, that's why.
Could be.
That's a bit presumptuous to say that he's...
Well, I was just trying to help Neil out, you know.
Yeah, whatever. And that's why he's done that.
Actually, it's not checked out.
So what's happened there is John didn't actually even look at his cards. He's just made the call, thinking that it was going to check down. Chris has seen that and gone, well, I pot it there in that case. Knowing that actually Dieter has less than a big blind bet. So.
And Chris shows ace, queen, 10, 7.
You understand that, right?
And Dieter shows ace, 8, 7 deuce.
Come on, cheer for me. Go.
Well, the 6 jack king. No one got a piece of that. And a queen that makes a straight. Straight for Chris. That will, and we will lose Dieter.
They didn't bring me my beer, that's the problem. Right, we'll
Right, yeah, so I can do a story.
You got it all, yeah? You gotta tell me when you're done.
What do you want to know, right? Just think it.
Blinds, please, 6 and 12.
Can I try it? That's not pot fence. We've got off on the wrong foot, sir.
6,000, mate.
So you're pushing me chips in because I haven't got a pot bet. You know.
It's all up on an average.
Speak for yourself, mate.
Yeah. I head over to the desk, and I'll give you a little slip and just go to the cash. Yeah, well played, well played. You know my name. Yeah. Oh, you again. Big pot. You playing any more this week?
I do want to get it in with that over.
So Steve made at least another 80 pounds, but he still folds under the gun.
36.
And Chris picks up another pot. I think we will hear that a lot now. He is by far the biggest stack now, and I think the other players will feel that.
Let's just hope it's better than the last time.
I rooted for you to double, mate. You know who I am as well.
Yes, I know.
You know who I am as well.
I am as well. I've done exactly the same.
I might eat. No, I'm not going to waste chips.
Unless I've got quads, I'm calling. I've not got quads.
Oh, yes! Yes, that's what I want. I want you to survive. Yeah, what's an awful I want you to survive.
I was still going to be calling.
Lines to the 12.
Yeah, I couldn't. I know you call it. I could not. I know. Oh,
Yes, of course.
Small by 6k, mate.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been a chop because I didn't have a low. 449 green. I hope you've got quads, John.
Four balloons, eh?
Yeah, I went to took my triangle off me.
Pot's 38.
Steve is potting it to 38.
It might not be.
He gets the rub from the dealer that he might not be. Yay! And he is.
He does.
All in the call, so here we
He's
go.
all in for 41,000.
You got a low.
And he goes King, Queen, Jack, 9.
I don't think the diamonds are going to work very well there, are they?
Against Ace 556 from John. And there's Jack 9-8 on the flop. So 2 pair for Steve.
Jack.
There you go.
10 makes a straight for Steve. And a queen. Still a straight for Steve. And he will double up. 41.
It was enough for a pot size bet.
Yes.
Yeah, 41, mate.
40,000 is the count for Steve. Gets a double up.
I need just another 2 or 3.
Lines, guys.
She's only interested in I'll see you soon. You want to buy one? I'll see you soon. Wait, no, I've got someone who wants to buy a bracelet. So. It's got to be done with gleams and things like that. No, you won't want to buy that.
Sure. I've got a paint pen.
See you later.
Unfortunately, the footwell of Dan's car is not here. Do you know what? I tried to sell one. Actually, I tried to sell one to Mark the shop because he wanted one for a tenner. I was like, yeah, fine.
I'll need to try to.
And then he won't be sure.
To say that for certain.
36.
Oh, this will be an experience.
And then when you like it, it's on the beach.
Lines, please. 6 and 12.
Great. We're watching Phil's having his first campus. This is a moment.
Yeah.
It really is a moment.
Oh, yes. You know, you're speaking about it, I was thinking that.
I wouldn't want you to feel that.
Right now, look, what's up?
Well, we're just quiet on commentary a minute because Phil from Germany is having his first ever Cadbury's cream egg. Yeah. Phil? How's it going for you? Talk us through it. Yeah.
Tastes good. Tastes good. Yeah.
He was looking longingly at it, and I'm flattered up. So we're basically doing each other a favour.
42.
Don't need much, lad.
No, I'm fully aware of that.
So Chris has potted from the button, and it's Steve in a big blind.
That's what I like to see. He's got triples. What is it?
42, yes.
Sorry, I've asked you like a million
Oh,
times.
you can, don't worry about it. That's why I'm in.
Yeah, I know. I mean, look, you could have this yellow one.
Steve's just finishing off his Cadbury's cream egg whilst making a decision.
I feel like I might be getting slow rolled here.
No, Steve folds and Chris wins that one.
You want me to buy all this? 35k, yeah?
295.
Who's got the blame for that, by the way?
I don't know. What, not Yates. Not Yates. Was it Yates? Wasn't Yates. Yes, Yates. Fucking Yates.
I can't believe it was
Philip's far too nice. Yates is, you know, also too nice.
Even a thought.
Yeah. How do you first believe? Yeah, all right. I'll let him flow.
Oh, Chris Webber folded a hand.
Part 42.
The other three seem confused by that.
And they've all folded. So I mean,
Brian picks it up.
Chris is very much the chip leader here now at this on this table, isn't he?
Definitely is, yeah.
12 for you, big blind.
I have no idea how much you have though.
Brian's got about 70,000. So Brian's got about 5 bigs, maybe 6 bigs. Steve is playing about 60. So Steve's playing about 5 bigs.
John, how much you got?
40, 65, 70.
So
John's got 70. So John's got 70. Brian's got about 70. Steve's got 60, and Chris Webber has the rest.
42.
And Steve raises the pot.
Which is about 350,000.
And he gets a pot.
So the other three playing about 5 or 6 big blinds, and Chris Webber has the rest. Which is about 25. Is yeah. Do we think that makes a difference?
Should we just get it in?
It actually
Does,
might
yeah,
be.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
some
yeah.
players really want to get
Yeah,
a medal.
yeah.
So it might actually make a difference.
No.
today.
Steve said he shouldn't have won one.
We changed this.
That was what he said.
Oh, pretty much, yeah.
Way too much fun to watch the stream.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, some dickhead keeps knocking the table, and I suspect he looks like the fusser.
Trying to keep myself amused.
Call.
Chris makes the call, and I'm not sure he was allowed to go all in there, but Brian still takes the pot.
50 now.
The thing is, I suppose from Chris's point of view, the other guys are playing, say, 60, 70k. Does he want to double one of those up?
If it falls out,
he can carry on. He can carry on.
Nobody wants to bust him.
Yeah, but he can carry on raising every hand, knowing that they're going to fold a lot of the time. And if they play back, he can afford to let it go.
There's not your place to say what you fold your cards. So
It reminds me a bit of the Omaha Championship that I won 2 years ago.
Okay, yeah.
I was a massive chip leader at the final table.
Yeah.
Basically right from the start, and shortly after the start, I busted the guy who was second in chips.
So went crazy, yeah.
And no one else really wanted to play, so they were just folding every hand, and I was raising.
So you could raise every hand, yeah.
And then they
small blind 6 plus.
they got down to 2 or 3 big blinds, so it didn't really hurt me to
then start making the calls quite light and
yeah,
hopeful.
definitely. I couldn't even fold after I raised them.
Yeah.
It would give me 1.5 big blinds, which would be like half of the stack.
I have ballsed up bigger leads than this, don't worry. I really have.
Surely not.
Oh, I have. I ballsed up at 19 to 1 heads up.
36.
So Steve has potted it from the small blind, and John folds in the big blind.
I mean, Chris tries to recreate some tension here when he said he has blown bigger leads.
Yeah, but I mean,
Into level
Chris's
20, mate.
point
You
of
got
view,
another hour and 6
him
minutes.
busting the next
When we
player
skipped the last
is
one.
far better than
When we skipped the last one,
two of the other
the
three
table
busting.
agrees. We can do it whenever you want.
That's still pretty good.
Does anyone want to be really nice and pause it at some point?
Chris tries to downplay the fact that he has half the chips in play.
But we believe in the commentary box that very much it's Chris's to lose here, isn't it? It's Chris's.
I think you would prefer that he would be seen as an underdog here.
It's more in his
Are you
nature.
suggesting that I might brook this? Am I going to brook this? Is that what you're saying?
For anyone that doesn't know, brooking this means coming second.
Why is that? Why is that? Why is brooking it coming second?
There's been a history throughout APAT, years and years of players with the name Brook finishing second.
Is that first or second? It's got to be second.
Second name, yes, yeah.
Might have been both, but mostly second name, yeah.
The first name is called, they probably got first.
Where is he anyway?
He's got 46 Chris might win this house. They've all left. You had a rail when it was all you might go out, and now actually you won't. Just Dwayne was left.
42.
Dwayne just wants Dwayne just wants to lift over. If I give Dwayne the car keys, he's gone, mate.
Here we go, lads. And I've got a ciggy.
John's all in, and as is.
You got the low? Yeah. I'll take a 2 on the front.
So John has ace deuce 5-5, and Steve has ace 10 king 3.
Oh dear.
And both hit an ace on the flop.
Good flop from Mufasa.
A 7, which gives John a low, and another deuce.
Oh, bad run out.
So he has ace deuce for.
Why scooped? Do you not want the lot or scoops?
Wait. Doesn't he have the low?
No.
Ace 3, 2, 7, 8.
Yeah.
He's
got the ace through his left.
I think he made the low.
Good man.
So I just saved Steve from busting the tournament.
As you can see, everyone here has no idea what they're doing.
What would you like to take?
6.
Yeah, I'll tell you what.
I assumed you did. Huh? I assumed you did. You don't like EPTs, right?
So Steve almost busted the tournament, but he made the low.
I genuinely was looking at it going, Steve's got the low. Well, no one else thinks that, so I'm not going to say anything because clearly I'm wrong. I must be wrong. So even I'm looking at it going, I'm sure he's got the low there.
Do you remember the time when I played in London and I was on the final and I was walking away and then Simon was like, no, you've got half.
Only but.
And that was on the final without the winner. I would like to bet all of the chips that I'm able to bet. 42.
That's just 12,000.
Chris pots it, and Steve folds, and Brian folds in the blinds.
I need Brooksy back here.
Small blind mate, 6.
In fact, you'll do. Just make sure everyone wins when they're supposed to win. Because we haven't won a fucking clue here.
6, mate.
So Steve in the small blind, John in the big blind.
Well, I can see why John didn't bother to mention that.
I've just had to be told by the comments.
I'm so sorry, by the way.
Yep.
That's why I don't want to take on you out. Yeah, whatever it is.
36. All in on the bags.
Winning at the minute.
So John and Steve are at it again. Steve has ace 9 deuce deuce, and John has ace jack 3 2. Flops king 7. Not a flush draw for Steve. And there's a flush for Steve. And no low. So Steve wins this pot.
Who gets paid one? We can confirm that he gets the
I can't count from here.
No, I mean...
They have to do something.
97.
Lee,
So I get that? I gave you at least 130. So John has less chips, so we lose John in 4th place, and everyone who is left has a medal now.
Hey, you're the big blind for 12, mate.
Well done. You had a shiny thing. I always shake your hand because you're not asked. Don't get the shiny thing, are you? Well done, Nobby.
No small blind this Angus.
High-low has a another betting round.
No offense, but can we bust them so I can get a break?
Let
me have one now.
Dude, we
can it after this hand.
Wait, there's a new level in 1 minute, so yeah, that works out.
We have a break.
Wicked.
Just play to this end of the step.
Yeah, it's 1 minute. It's going to be this hand. Maybe. Don't you, boss.
If that means I can have a sickie now, then.
No.
Gotta hang on for 30 seconds.
Yeah, pretty much.
No,
one more
we
hand.
can, we'll go, but I mean, you want to, you just fold it.
He doesn't want another hand before. That's what's happening.
Someone call a clock on me.
Lee,
Lee.
Just pause the clock.
So players are just going to take a very short break, so we will do the same on the stream. We'll see you back shortly.
Oh, okay. I'm just doing it out of habit. Sorry, what did I say? I think it's 340.
Yeah, I bring that. Put them all up.
So, 160. Yeah, just left, and you've got a dead button for this action.
Dead button, so big.
Small blind, big
small and big. Okay. Big Russell.
Just to save time.
Shut up! Wow, what a fucking bot. Thanks, mate. I'd like to figure it.
So I think I should get at least half of Steve's earnings.
He's no ladder. He's no ladder again and got a medal. It's weird. It's like, I'm looking going,
Well, it's always confusing when there are 4 low cards on the board and no one has 2 light, 2 cards that are not on the board. That is always confusing.
and Steve is quite confident. I don't play this game.
And also it just changed on the river.
Los dos en la... Vale.
Yes, Joel and Steve.
O sea, lo que pasa es que yo creo que me tengo que quedar con esto. Arrasen se ¿qué me quedo yo?
You ask me the guys, I'll tell you. Well, to be fair, did you point now for a team to work? Only second in the
I don't think I'm more than 6 or 7 things.
Yeah, but then, there's like, they always thought these trials were really good. It's just glass with a bit of light on it, basically. You know what?
What's the button?
Yeah, 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean,
He's pushing the whole thing.
yeah.
See, my problem is, well, you last year, well, last year I took 5 days off, and I played the first day, and I was off on the first day, so I ended up 5 days off, and I let it
It saves on using WhatsApp, you know, that WhatsApp. Yeah, it says it'll be no, which really
Fucking doing it again, are you kidding? Attention please. Anybody waiting to play? 1-1 Nolan Holding Texas. Table 18 in card unit is now available. That's anybody wanting to play. 1-1 Nolan Holding Texas. Table 18 in card unit is now available.
Right then, so players are just gathering back. They're going to take their seats, and we will play out and find out what colour medal these three players are going to get. So Chris Webber with all the chips, top left of his screen.
I have half the chips.
He is in seat 3. Looking to recover his position as poster boy of APAT with a win here today. Brian, middle of your screen. Not quite as many chips as Chris. And Steve Bailiff, top left with the flowing mane of hair. What do you...
How are we 3 minutes into this level when we broke?
More to the point.
Yeah, but that button. So it's more than big. 816. I know, no. They just came and the previous dealer told me that the button is dead. That's more than big. He told me that.
So here we go. 3 players, 3 medals. Who's getting which colour?
Mongol player.
To be fair, I'd say it's Brian.
Well, it's definitely not me, put it that way.
The clock is not running, but I think you can
I'll be
continue,
only
right?
Yeah, start because they took a while to stop it. So if you deal a hand or so, I'll
Okay.
I'll get started.
I think it should be you on there, not leave that.
Race.
So our chip leader adds to his stack. And so it's Brian in the small blind, it's Steve in the big blind, which means it'll be action on Chris Webber.
Careful.
Out of seat 3.
I know how much that silver. I want the win. I know how much that silver means to you. I want the win. I'd rather have the bronze and don't have it. Yeah, please.
$48.
Yep.
Call 48.
Keep me in, pots all in, but it's not no more, is it? Oops. I mean, it is going now. Should we just get it in now? No.
48.
No. How much? No.
48, sir.
28.
40.
48. Yeah, I'll take that. Make it easy.
So Brian's spotted 48 and Steve's made the call. So we're going to see a flop, blind on blind, Brian and Steve, and it's 10-7-9 with a couple of clubs there. Actions on Brian, top of your screen. And he's all in, and Steve's going to make the call, and they're on the backs. So Brian's got 8 queen, deuce 3, and it's ace 6, ace king for Steve. So Brian's at risk here.
Jack. 10.
And 5 of spades gives a spade.
I'll take a spade. Spades, we both want a spade.
And the 3 of clubs means I think we're going to lose Brian in No, the A6 is there. We're going to lose Brian in 3rd place. Very well played to him.
Tom, can you just hold those hand for a second? Tom, Lucy, photo and hand, please.
They're so unimpressed. They're so unimpressed.
Well, no, they have a go.
Just dancing last year now.
So this is the only hand that he's ever seen with me.
It's alright. You can swap them if you want, but just change the flop so I win.
Tom.
I'm Steve.
Ladies and George Downey and Paul Harrison to the coach. George Downey and Paul Harrison seem available.
Congratulations, players.
I've actually got heads up with 2 people on 2 days. You can't hold it back, can you? No, just yesterday. Just yesterday, like me.
Chris versus Steve.
Do you think this is going to be a long heads up battle? Do you know what, Dave? I don't really know, unless there's lots of parts.
You are this one.
Sorry?
You are this one.
There is no small.
I know, there is not. There is.
I think it's a small.
Yeah, there is. You just picked us up.
Are you calling or are you reading?
No, it's not.
So Steve's very much given himself an opportunity here by knocking out Brian in 3rd place. So if it had been Chris that had knocked out Brian, that really would have put the pressure on Steve. But Steve's actually giving him a chance. He's giving himself a bit of stack to actually try and fight back here now. Got JP on the rail watching this. What do you think?
I'm happy for either of these two to win it. It's all good. It's all good.
40, 48. Go.
They're all ones that don't count on loud.
The board is 3.
All in.
Yeah. The board is 3-10 king, and Chris has potted it. And Steve's repotted it, and Chris has asked for a count. Effectively, I think it's going to be Steve all in. $176 is the count. And Chris had made it 45,000.
I know, but it told you it wasn't going to be a long heads up.
This is either going to put them pretty much even on chips, or it'll be Steve busting second if he makes the call here.
76.
It's only 20,000 more. Oh, shit.
So the board is 3 of clubs, 10 of diamonds, king of diamonds.
Oh, fuck. Were you waiting for me to say good call or something?
No.
Were you hanging with it?
I have a backdoor low draw and a really bad flush draw.
Well, with clubs.
Okay. Oh, yeah, shit.
So decisions on Chris, top left of your screen. You can see him because he's squirming in his chair. What's he going to do? Chance to end it here, but also if he gets it wrong and doubles up his opponent, it's going to put them pretty even on stack in this heads up.
Do you have diamonds, Gus?
Yep.
Chris said, have you got diamonds? Scouse said yes, and I think that's going to mean Chris is going to make... And Chris is calling. So Scouse shows...
Good call.
So Scouse has King Deuce 5-9. Deuce of So it's a 4 on the spade, which means I think Chris is ahead. Jack on the river, and Chris is going to scoop the whole lot, and it's going to be over.
Can we leave the cards there? Yeah.
And we're going to be somehow done with.
I mean, can we just bin these cards? Because neither of us are happy about it. Just neither of us are happy about it.
What's there? That's all. Yeah.
I just knew you'd underload.
I've just got the cards in there that you can work in. So Steve had the 6, deuce, 5, 9, and Chris had the ace, deuce, 9, 5, and Chris is going to scoop the lot, and that's it. We're done.
We can leave those there. We can set the chips up there for a photo. Is that okay? That'd be right. Yeah? As you win.
I prepare a big building.
Design as you will. Yeah. Impress us. Impress us with your efforts.
I don't get this game, so I'll be sat in our sort
Go that side, that one will go that side. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. I think it's a terrible move, but I fucked myself by betting.
That's it. Another bracelet won, and it's another bracelet going to Team Gotham, to Chris Webber this time. Very well played to him. And Steve follows up his bracelet medal win from yesterday with a silver medal today. Another great performance from him. That will put him top with Ian Thompson and Stefan Roder at the top of the player of the series. Very well done to them. We're just going to set up the photo here for Chris, which should be entertaining because Chris Webber's winning photos normally are well posed, I think is the best way to put it. Very well played to him. We're back tomorrow for more live streaming. Hope you enjoyed it from Manchester here today. We'll catch you guys tomorrow. Actually, guys, change of plan, because we've just noticed that the No Limit Hold'em side event is actually getting close to the final table. Do you know what? I think we're going to stream that. So keep an eye out for the link, and we will get that on the stream as soon as possible once we're finished here.
So if I was playing golf, I'd still have 100%.
George down into the guardian. George down into the guardian.
Oh, we're going to pull backwards. Sorry, Jill, if you may. Don't stack them too high. I need to pull it back into the lake.
Oh.
They'll be fine on that. They'll be fine on that.
Yeah, Lee says they'll be fine with that.
Of course they will. Tom's very good at this whole trick thing now.
We need to move the table.
Yeah. You ready?
Yeah. Oh.
There you go. Get Chris in the light. Lovely. This is good though, Dean. I'm liking this. It's symmetrical.
We've been marking these out of 10.
Yeah. We can lose that one because that's going to be the winning. Make sure that's in the photo. I think that's quite important, isn't it? Yeah.
Maybe with a big arrow, just saying ace high.
Yeah, anything you want.
I don't want the hands on.
Yeah, I want the hands on.
Oh, no. That, it needs to be there.
Can we make the stack bigger so that my ace isn't visible?
To be honest, I'm slightly worried that we're not going to see Chris over that stack because he's only short. So.
That'll do, lovely.
Something like this.
You got a
Right,
dirty
Chris,
stack.
let's get into this photo. Come on.
Oh, we got a dirty stack.
No.
I'm not going to put those in there.
No, they're wrongly branded.
You're ready for a stand. You are ready for a standoff, by the way, aren't you?
Right.
Because you know I'm not going to smile.
Oh, challenge accepted.
Thank you very much.
pictures of him with chip and medals.
He's now going to get as low as he can.
We're all right, Chris. How you doing then?
Oh, he's gone for the side pose.
Oh, he always does.
Do I win? I scoop there? Yeah, that was obvious. That was
Oh, very nostalgic.
You go for the old look away like Vegas.
Chris, see the Ashley Cole. Stand up.
Oh yeah. that's gone. People don't know that anymore. They don't know what that is.
Right, mate. You look like a sailor. No smiles, no.
Do you want to grab the bracelet and the medal just to raise him up a little bit?
Very serious.
Do you think you could? Everybody else has, maybe.
Would you just like to get in and have a photograph with
Got the guys.
See if we can get him a smile. Come on, for fuck's sake. Come on, guys. See if we can get him a smile.
Sorry,
his finger is literally in my
No, guys, he's not smiling. He's not smiling. He looks like somebody really has cut their finger off.
Look how devastating he is.
Teams followed. No, man.
Taylor's devastated, mate. Taylor's devastated.
How could you do that to him? I mean, it took ages to set those.
You don't know how much self-control it took for me to do that. And a minute and a half before.
It was smell my finger.
Congratulations.
Oh dear, dear.
Chris. Thank you very much.
You Messi jeans.
Number of runs as well.
So what's the 14? There's a basically what you're saying is what's the 14?
Best performance, yeah.
I don't know.
Is that 4 and 4 years?
I will get the next round in. Yeah, I will buy you. I will win 8K and buy one sandwich. Well, just let him, just sort of chip back they were all nicely stacked ready to go in trays and everything. My view is that's 2 hours. 2 hours left.
I don't know if I may have it tomorrow.
I mean, it's midnight now. So if I walk out tomorrow.
Well, not just let me know, you need to make sure I see it. So I'm missing it, so ring me, get one of these guys. Someone will, just make sure.